Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Shirt, Managing Director of Globe Series, and I'm joined today by my friend and colleague, Bo, who's the Executive Director of Leading Change Canada. We just delivered in March two incredible events, Globe Forum and Leading Change Forum. And we thought today we would share some of the top tips and learnings coming out of delivering those events in the wake of a global pandemic. So, with that, here is tip number one. So, the first tip I want to share with you today is that in person events are not dead. Now, maybe this should come as no surprise given the connection we've been craving over the course of the global pandemic. But it really came through in our ticket sales and in the energy in the rooms at Globe Forum and Leading Change Forum, the critical importance of being together in person. The important underlying tip here, though, is thinking about who you're bringing together, not just on stage, but also in your audience and your delegate base. And how are you creating ways for them to connect both formally through the program as well as informally through networking and connecting in the hallways and in the reception areas? This is critically important to really enable those collisions that you want to see happen that are going to drive action beyond your event. Bo, over to you for tip number two.
Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. So, for tip number two, if you're not thinking about equity and access, first of all, where have you been? But secondly, you better start now. Though it shouldn't have taken a global pandemic to bring questions about equity and access into the mainstream, COVID has really brought a new visibility to these issues. The all white panels, just not going to cut it anymore. We must be held accountable for the people that we have on stage, whether that's virtual or in person. Um, and going along with that, the audience really has to be considered in this question as well. If we're going to build a better future, we have to make sure that all the voices are at the table, taking into account different ages, different races, different gender identities, differently abled perspectives. All of them are vitally important to the conversation that we need to have together.
Thanks so much, Bo. So, tip number three is it's not easy being green, but you have to do it anyway. Ensuring that events are sustainable is critically important to this business, and even more so when the individuals you're bringing together are all about creating a more sustainable future, the way Globe and Leading Change are. There's lots of things you can do to make sure your event is sustainable and net zero. First and foremost, work with a green venue. For example, the Vancouver Convention Center is one of the first platinum LEED certified convention centers in the world. You should work with a credible offset provider to make sure you're addressing the emissions that result from bringing groups of people together. You can look at your menu and the foods that you're serving, work with your venue and your food and beverage providers to ensure ingredients are sustainable and locally sourced. And you can go paperless. In this world of technology, we no longer need to print programs. We can have programs and information about the events right at our fingertips on our mobile devices. So, just a few ways that you can think about ensuring your event is green and sustainable. Bo, over to you for tip number four.
Thanks, Elizabeth. So, for tip number four, we have go beyond a chat fest. Link those events to outcomes and actions. For leading change, as our audience is primarily young people, we're really concerned about our future and what kind of future we're going to inherit. So we want to get past the conversation. The conversation, of course, is important, but what can we do? How do we actually affect change in our communities around the world? So we've got to make sure that we go beyond talk and actually head towards the action and the impact. That's what's going to make your events that much more compelling and impactful.
Thanks, Bo. And for Globe and at Globe Forum, we really looked to bring that to life through what we call our 10 by 10. We looked to uncover the 10 actions we need to take in the next 10 years to get on the path to a net zero future. And our commitment is to continue to convene partners and like minded organizations and individuals around those 10 actions over the coming months so that we really can be driving action and impact beyond the event of Globe Forum itself. Okay, tip number 5, last but certainly not least, after your event, take 5. Planning and delivering major events takes a ton of effort and energy. It is super rewarding, but it is exhausting. Build into your planning for your event the time for your team to take a rest, to recuperate, and to reflect on the great work that you've done, the great outcomes that you achieved, and the lessons that you want to take forward into your next event. This is critical to success in planning and delivering great events. So, with that, I hope you've enjoyed our tips and you found something to take away that you can bring to your organization and your events. And I look forward to seeing you at our next event. Have a great day.